En programpunkt som har blivit lite förändrad, det är imorgon klockan 12:20 så skulle Åsa Linderborg ha varit här. Istället, hon har fått förhinder och istället så kommer vi ha programpunkten Charlie Hebdo, Sverige och självcensur. Vet inte om ni har märkt det, men det numret av Charlie Hebdo som släpptes i januari är nu översatt till svenska och finns att köpa här på mässan. Och vi ska prata om imorgon 12:20 hur man resonerar när man gör en sån sak. Nu ska vi få träffa författaren Hassam Blasim. Det är en arabisk-finsk otroligt intressant författare som vi kommer höra ett samtal med modereras av Daniel Sandström och det är Albert Bonniers förlag som är arrangör. Välkomna upp på scenen Daniel och Hassam. En varm applåd.
Hallå allihopa och välkomna till den här lilla frågestunden som vi ska ha med Hassam Blasim. Och vi ska prata om Hassans nya bok som heter Irakisk Kristus som kom ut för ungefär 2 veckor sedan. Och jag tror att många har lagt märke till att han har fått ett fantastiskt mottagande. På radion sa man att ni måste läsa den här boken nu. I en annan tidning så skrev man att det råder ingen tvivel om att det här är ett av årets största läsupplevelser. Och nu är jag partisk, men jag kan lova er att allt detta stämmer. Jag är partisk för att jag är förläggare till Hassan och otroligt stolt över att kunna vara med och ge ut Irakisk Kristus, som alltså är noveller, berättelser om situationer i livet i Irak. Would you please welcome Hassam Blasim?
Thank you.
Yes, it works.
It's work? Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Okay. So Hassan, now you've been to the Gothenburg Book Fair for a couple of days, and I know that you not only want to talk about literature, you feel that the literature maybe there's other things that are important to you. And this book has been released in Sweden, and it coincided with the refugee crisis. And you've been a refugee yourself. Now you live in Finland. How do you feel looking at the refugee situation now, having that experience yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Why I don't want to talk about literature? Because for me, it's like we talk about literature like cliché. How you write, where you inspire from more, which inspire you, and which style you write. I don't think this is very important. I write my book. It's like I writing like, for me, writing is like game. I play my game and I give it to reader. That's it. It's nothing special. Nothing like I go to say to the audience about writing. It's oh amazing. He writing about different. But we have many different problem now, and we have really difficult moment through history, like in Europe and around the world. And must we talk more about that? Not let just the media like talking and politicians talking about that, because it's a huge tragedy what happened. We can see the Hungarian people how they behave with the refugee. It's a crime when you hit refugee in the border. It's a crime. You know, through history we sharing. Let's back to the war, the Nazi, what they do with the Jewish. In the beginning, many European they don't want to take the Jewish in the beginning. It's same in England. In last moment, they agree to take 10,000 Jewish kids, but without father, like no father, not the father, the man. They don't come to England. And many people, like in Finland, some people say, okay, we can take just kids and women refugee. So people they want to design how to help people. About every country they want to create a new way to help refugee, and it's really bad. I crossed the border from Iraq to Helsinki. Like all the time people ask me in Finland, Hassan, how you come to Helsinki? I say I walk from Helsinki to from Baghdad to Helsinki and take 4 years to take me to arrive there. I see this border is terrible. we don't forget it's kids and women and young people, just they trust Europe, because Europe, best educated people, nice people, free society, because if you be best educated people, you are mean best human being. That's mean make you best human being in this our world. So people just trust you and needed your help.
So now, Hassan, you've been living in Finland for 12 years, 13 years?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I live in Finland, yeah, 11 years.
Yeah,
11 years, yeah.
And now you become a very, successful author with a lot of international prizes. Hassan won the Independent Foreign Fiction Prize last year, which is the finest prize in the English-speaking world for translated fiction, which is the first time a writer in Arabic won that prize. Do you feel that people are interested in Arabic literature in the Western Europe, or do you think that we should be more educated in this area?
No, in the West we don't interesting about Arabic literature. We look for Arabic people just from the media, some radical people shouting all the time in the TV, Allahu Akbar, and that's Arabic people. It's really so cheesy. Arabic literature, it's old literature, 300 million people speak Arabic literature. Why we don't translate literature from Arabic word to understand this part from the world? For example, now everybody, we are worried about ISIS, for example. You can't understand ISIS from the media, but when you read novel, you can see one guy from this ISIS, where he's born, what happened through history, how linked with the capitalism, how linked with the America. You can see the wide picture. But if you sit in the TV and you just hear 50 people die in Iraq in the car bomb, what that mean? Nothing. It's make people just number. Like if we are interested, for example, let's talk about Syria. If we want to understand Syria more, must we read literature? Because, for example, in the East country and in the Arabic country, why we read a lot of literature from the West? Why we read Kafka, James Joyce, Marcel Proust, Gabriel Garcia Marquez? Arabic literature is rich literature. You can read, you can translate. We can translate to understand more about people, to share, because literature all the time share love also. It's a great way to contact other people through literature.
Yeah. So what kind of literature, can I ask you one literary question? Yeah.
Yeah, literature question. No, don't ask literature question. Yeah, not deep philosophy, literature.
No, deep philosophy. I'm just curious because for those who have, of the people in the audience who has not read your book yet, one might explain that it's what makes it so fascinating. It's not only that it's about the situation in the world today and in Iraq and also in Finland and refugee situation. It's also the mixture in your writing between a very Arabic way of narrating stories from especially from Thousand and a Night, but also to some of the modern Western classics, as you mentioned, Kafka and Marcel Proust and Sabatos and so on. So, could you tell me something of how you began to fall in love with literature and what literature made you want to be a writer?
Yeah, I started like nothing special when I am teenager. Love book, read a lot of book in Iraq, read Dostoevsky, Chekhov, all this great writer, and I found it like, that's be great. I want to be a writer, like this writer. So the first thing I do when I'm 14, I open the newspaper. My mother, she's not really love what I do. I read all the time literature. She think I have some mental problem because all the time sitting home, I don't talk. She say, "Are you okay?" What? I say, "I'm okay. It's literature. It's really nice." She don't understand that. But one day when I'm in 14, I open the newspaper and I see the crossword. And I say, it's so difficult to play with this, so I design one, and I send it to newspaper, and they publish it, and they give me money. My mother, she's so happy. She say, literature is good. Do that. It's like, it's like with the basic, normal way, read a lot of literature, and I have big challenge because when I read Kafka, I feel jealous, like, he's a great writer. How to be different from him after you read Borges? How he can write like this way? So you challenge yourself with you have challenge with the literature in the general, and you want to play this game with a good way.
Yeah. Which you do in a fantastic way. Why is the book called Iraqi Christ?
I don't know.
You don't know. Another question then. I was kind of hoping for a longer answer, but I think I have to live with this. You've been living in Finland for 11 years. How do you feel now? Has the people? Are the people of Finland accommodating to refugees? Are they accepting refugees in Finland, or do you think? Because now we see people coming to Finland, and you have people demonstrating at the border. Yeah. How do you feel? Do you feel that the situation will grow worse for immigrants in Finland, or will it be better?
Yeah. First, I love Finnish people. They are great, like Scandinavian people. They are strong, honest people. They are all the time. You can trust them. Like a Scandinavian rhythm, you can trust people. Like Finnish people, wonderful, and they have wonderful forests, wonderful nature. Really, they have it's so difficult. They all the time. I give Sweden good example to Finnish people. I say, look at your neighbor. They are okay with refugees, still fighting. They say, hey, yo, kulla. Yes. They don't like. It's difficult. They don't need more refugee. I think they are scary because Finnish people like inside the mentality for a long time. All the time, enemy come from outside. First, Sweden, they attack Finland, and after Russia attack Finland, they feel they are small, so now immigrant attack like Finland. They think it's like an enemy. But I hope people is different from politician. People, they start talking, they want help refugee, and we keep hope, of course, because we trust people, nice people, have great knowledge, have best life, rich country, healthy, best educated. Of course you trust people. So I hope it's coming change, it's coming better. But now it's difficult.
Yeah.
I say something about Finland, about what's the relationship between human being and any country. First year when I arrived to Finland, I meet one guy from Morocco, and I ask him, which kind of society Finnish people? He say, shit, they drink a lot, depression, they don't talk, shy. I say, shit, it's me in Iraq, same. Drink a lot, shy, depression. So, yeah.
So you feel at home anyway, yes.
It's our world. For me, the world is like hotel. One room in Baghdad, one room in Helsinki, maybe next in Stockholm. It's a great world. It's my world and your world.
Hassan, there's one story. Is a good song, yes. Yeah, this is a typical afternoon at the Gothenburg Book Fair. It's chaos. It's almost the song of the goat, you could say. There's one short story which is called "Why Don't You Write a Novel Instead of Telling Me All These Short Stories About These Figures?"
Yeah, nothing is special. I just make joke about publishers because publisher all the time. Publishers, you work with the publisher, they don't like short stories. They want novel. It's a great business. But short story is a great form, nice, beautiful.
Why is short stories great form?
It's a great form because it's a big challenge. Because in novel you are so lazy, you have time, you come talking and talking. But in short story you make all the character, all the event. You don't have, you have limited time, space. So it's a big challenge to let reader to enjoy the story, enjoy the literature. But novel all the time you have space, you can play, you can little bit be stupid. It's the novel. It's not still you can continue to read novel. But short story, you write short story, if succeeded or not.
Yeah. I must say, to my defense, that we are very pleased that you wrote these short stories.
Thank you.
And we think that the short stories are lovely, and we think that people will love the short stories. So we are in no hurry to get a novel out of you, Hassam. I can say, and I've said this in front of all these witnesses. So
I can't finish my novel after 5 years. I'm not
so we can go back to that later. So, but one thing I was very curious about. You said for you, literature is play. Yes.
What I say?
Literature is play.
It's play. Not
game.
The writing. When I writing, I think it's like game for me. I play this game because, okay, when you are kids or teenager in any culture, we hear a lot of cliche. Life is short. Time teach you. Life is a dream. Life is game. It's a cliche, but it's truth in the end. We don't find any answer like to this cliche. So it's game, yeah. It's just game. Play game to enjoy with other people this game because life wonderful, nice game.
Such a wonderful, nice game. but at the same time, I know that you've had difficulties with getting this book out in Arabic countries. Why is that?
Everything is difficult in Arabic country. If you talk about sex, it's difficult. If you talk about religion, it's difficult. Like Arabic people, like they arrive from Mars and they shock. They don't do sex. They just Arabic people have religion. Yeah, we have a lot of a problem. We needed time. We needed time to fix our culture, our religion, but without capitalism, without oil. Like, for example, I give short. We fight our dictator. We want to fight in Saddam Hussein. We be in the prison. They torture us. And many writer, many artists, why we can't change the dictator? Because all the West support Saddam Hussein, but from new Cold War, they give him gun. Do you think any factory in the Middle East, like factory, make weapon? Did we have one in Middle East? No, from West, from Europe. When Europe talk about human rights, why Middle East is not coming peace? Because West sell weapon to Middle East and they have a great solution. We don't see any culture people go to Middle East, artists help school. We see just bombing coming from West. I'm talking about human rights. They are crazy people. They are ISIS. Of course, you make crazy people through 100 years. You just bombed this country and stolen the oil. So what do you want? If Russia bombing Sweden 100 years, you'll be crazy here. You don't want to come to literature. Of course. It's like difficult. We want to fix it. Our culture is human being culture, but without the West and capitalism, must they think people in Europe think different about Middle East?
But I'm still curious, because if you were to publish this book in, say, Jordan or different countries in the Middle East, would they censor this book because it's about? The story is about sex and the story about violence.
First time they censorship my book. I can't publish. I send my book more peace and love. It's like. Yeah, but now it's okay. I published my book and it's arrived to Egypt and to Iraq, so it's coming better all the time.
Okay.
So the censorship broken now in Arabic world because young people think different. It's coming a new generation. It's still black picture. Many people die there, but it's still we keep hope and many great, wonderful generation born in Arabic world now.
Thank you, Hassam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now the book is for sale over there. I urge you to get this one. It says on the cover, and we don't lie, it's a classic.